You might know me, thank you. You might know me as the voice of Lord Zed on the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Woo! I also was the voice of Finster on the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. So we're going to see some samples of my work, but I want to tell you how I got to where I am now. And if anybody has any questions during my talk, feel free to ask. Anybody have any questions off the bat about the Power Rangers or anything?
Who's your favorite?
Huh?
Who's your favorite Ranger?
I like the Yellow Ranger. Anyway, I started in show business when I was 5. I was in kindergarten, and the teacher brought in this big old TV set that was all hollowed out, and she asked us to get inside the TV set one at a time and entertain the class. So I got inside the TV set and I did a little puppet show with my hands. Hello, hello, etc., etc. And I cracked the class up. So I was hooked from that day on. In my little 5-year-old brain, I thought, well, hey, I may be able to do this all my life. Anyway, to make a long story short, I'm 19 years old. I'm in college. I decide I want to get a job in show business during the day and switch to night school. So I go knocking on some doors. In Manhattan, that's easy to do. All of the show business things are like on Madison Avenue and Lexington Avenue. They're all within walking distance of each other. Production companies, and I met industrial film producers. I met one industrial film producer who wanted to apprentice me. I didn't know what an industrial film was, so I turned it down. I met a nice man, nice Asian man, who said, do you do cartoon voices? I said, yeah. I mean, I did these voices, and I always fooled around with voices, so of course you say yes. And he auditioned me and said, "Tom, that's great, would you like to do cartoon voices in Japan?" And that was totally intimidating to me. Nowadays, kids grow up a lot faster than they did in my day. My day, 19, you were still a kid. I don't know. I guess maybe I was just a kid, but I didn't have much parental guidance. So I turned it down. It was intimidating to pick up and go to Japan all alone. Little did I know that 10 years later I'd be doing the exact same thing in Los Angeles. And I joined a theater company in Manhattan called 70 Grand. It was an avant-garde theater company. And the director was his name was Norman Tackle. And he was teaching a very precise acting technology. He was teaching a technique, a very physical technique, because he was an ex-dancer. He said, acting is physical. What you do with the body physically feeds the voice and feeds the head. Actually feeds your thoughts. If you go like this, then you say, I'm angry. But you do this first. You don't say, I'm angry first, and then go like this. You go like this and say, I'm angry. Interesting. Because that's the way dancers think. Dancers think with their bodies, and this guy was an ex-dancer. So it was a very interesting technique, and I still use it today. I got my first gig as an actor in an educational film. Everybody know what an educational film is?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you've probably seen tons of it. It was an educational film for young children, how to use the library. Very dry stuff. But the entertainment part is I played Ukon from the planet Transmo.
I think I saw that video.
You saw that video?
I did.
That was many years ago.
We have all these old training videos back at my old elementary school library.
Oh my God. That would be great. Well, anyway, you know what I mean? I was in the planet Transmo and I land my flying saucer in the library, and the librarian proceeds to show me and this little boy who finds me how to use the library. And that instructs the people who watch the film how to use the library. So that was my first gig, but it was gold to me. It was like $150 a day. I worked 2 days. It was like, I framed the contract, hung it on my wall. It was my first job, my first film job in LA.
Oh, that's too.
I love
No, look, it's I remember that. This is what I'm better for.
I don't know how I got the rollerboards in, but I had to go through it.
Yes.
All right, so I'm going along doing Finster in the show for 2 years. And what happened was they had just so much footage of Rita, so much usable footage of Rita Repulsa from Japan. And so much usable footage, when I say usable, so much footage that could be dubbed into English. Because Rita was very difficult to dub. I know because I worked, the first 2 years I wrote incidental dialogue, which means I was writing the dialogue for all of the dubbed parts and time coding it and all that. So she was very hard to write for because her mouth movements were all very stylized. In Japanese, and correct me if I'm wrong, Japanese, most of their words end in vowel sounds. And in English, most of the words end in consonants, which is closed mouth. Vowels are open mouth, consonants are closed mouth. So, you had to think of words to end sentences that were open-mouthed. You couldn't end a sentence with an M or a P word because the mouth's open. You have to say, go away, or something like that. Because she's going, and she's yelling and screaming her lines too, so difficult to write for. So, and footage-wise, they just were running out of plots. So they said, we gotta get a new bad guy. And we gotta invent him here, make it so he can talk a lot without having any dubbing problems. And we're going to get some guy in a costume who's a stuntman, and we're going to get somebody to voice him. So they did just that. They invented Lord Zed. I was doing Finster, and I was doing a session, and I saw that they were auditioning for monsters. And I had done, oh, you'll see it the next menu. I had done a couple of guest monsters. Because Finster, he was up in the higher registers like this. Hey, Queen, I'm going to get you puppet monsters. I'm going to build you puppet monsters. So I could do blah, 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 and not sound like Finster. So I did the goldfish. I did the two-headed parrot. I did 3 guest monsters during that first couple of years. So So that was just a little extra work to make extra money and to participate more in the show. So I said, oh, can I read for somebody's mouth? And then I noticed Lord Zed. I said, who's this? He said, oh, that's the new bad guy. And I looked at the piece of paper, the description, and I looked at the dialogue, and I said, oh, I can give this a try. So, this is Lord Zed's first appearance.